Keep seeing this red ampersand, and it makes me think it's a demon because in NetHack, the red ampersands were demons or devils. I'm not sure what the actual species thing was, so I don't know. Anyway, but it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me think about demons from NetHack. Man, it's been a long time since I played NetHack. I really liked that game when I was a kid. It was like the first roguelike I had ever played. And I just loved learning about stuff when I was a kid. It was like, oh, you can't eat kobolds because they're poisonous. And you learn that for the rest of your gaming career, basically. But now, as an adult, I look at NetHack and I'm like, just there's too much meta knowledge that is required to really play. Like all that stuff you really have to know just by memorization, or else you're gonna fail miserably. So it's not super interested in NetHack these days. I like Angband. It's much less meta, and it's a lot easier to just pick up. Like I could pick up NetHack right now and play a game, and we might last for like 20 minutes, or we might last for 2 hours, but we're probably gonna die within a couple hours. If I pick up Angband, I could play Angband for like 50 hours and never die, but never beat the game. So it's a very long slog to kind of get through. A Desert Eagle, eh? We'll take that. And it just happened to also drop 44 glass shards in addition to the Desert Eagle 44. Weird that you have a Desert Eagle in a display case in your bedroom, but, you know, live your own life, I guess. Aspirin. No. Top Gear will take No God from a Corpse. The weather-worn paperback written by some skirt named Lee Rackett. Have I mentioned how many times they use terms like skirt, and I just hate it. And I'm sure it's done like satirically, but it bothers me a lot. Anyway, moving on. Or broad, I think, was the other one. Error putting item into a pocket that can't fit into it while loading. The holster does not accept this item type. Well, I don't know what holster that was, but we'll have a look if we see one. It's probably not here. It's probably at the edge of our bubble. So it's probably next door. Instead of just giving... I'm giving credits to my friends. What are you talking about? Instead of just giving money they don't need. I don't really know what you guys are talking about, but that's okay. Enjoy your conversation. Blobs and Bandits, a role-playing game set in the post-apocalypse, so you can pretend to survive the apocalypse while surviving the apocalypse. Interesting that it has blob in the name, when people wouldn't have known that at a time when board games would have been manufactured. So I'm curious what the blobs in that game would be, but that's cool. I like that they've added a handful of tabletop games to this game, just as a kind of thing that exists. I don't think they have a huge amount of use or anything, but I think it's a cool thing. We have a food dehydrator. I honestly haven't dehydrated food in this game in so long because it's just not necessary. It won't even fit. It's 15 liters? That is an enormous food. I guess they are pretty big. I was thinking in my head, I was picturing a food processor, but food dehydrators are pretty big, I guess. Hydrochloric acid, clean water. We'll take the clean water because we don't really have a lot of water, and it will just help us avoid having to boil a bunch of water. Okay, some weird column hallway with a safe in it. We don't have a stethoscope, of course, so oh well. Grab the hydrogen peroxide, sure. Oh, stretch it out. Oh. Yeah, trying to dial in my audio, man, I just can't find, everything is expensive. I can't find the thing I'm looking for, and I'm just, every time, so basically I dial it in before I stream, everything sounds okay, and then when I listen back to the Twitch VOD, I'm like, man, that audio is bad, there's so much static, there's so much, I don't know how to fix that. I'm not an audiophile, I'm not very good with audio, and learning to use equalizers and stuff has been difficult, and then many of them are expensive, and A lot of times it'll just, like, I'll look at guides and it'll say, what you really need is like an external soundboard. And it's like, I can't afford a freaking soundboard, you know? I want to do it all through software and blah, 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 etc. So hopefully this one comes out okay. I don't really want to go next door when we saw the ferals and all those enemies. So we'll just, I think we're just done with these houses, honestly. Be interesting if some scientists made this game to sneaky tell humans about the apocalypse that's coming. That'd be interesting. I don't think they had that much time, but that would be interesting. Head south. Quite a bit on the road. Let's just head to the west where we haven't really seen any enemies. We're not checking vehicles. We do have a solar vehicle back at base, so I'm not super concerned about that. I'll let these guys come out to fight us. We do need to repair our Tonfa. Just something I brought up before and then did not actually follow up on. What else can we talk about? Well, so I saw a mouse in my room a couple days ago, and I had never noticed a mouse in my room and never heard anything, never saw anything. But I just, out of the corner of my eye the other night, I saw right in that corner over there, I saw there's a gap in between the molding and the wall, and I saw a little mouse fling himself through there, and I was like, ah, crap, we got a mouse in the house. So I went on Amazon and I ordered more non-lethal traps, because I had bought them previously. They're just little tubes that they walk in and then get stuck in, little plastic like domes that they go in, and then you take them somewhere and release them. And I had done this like a year ago when we saw some mice in the house previously. And like as soon as I set them last time, we caught the mice. We took them to a field out in the country, let them go, and then never saw or heard or anything about mice ever again. Well, now I saw a mouse. So I was like, okay, you know, I had thrown away the old traps because they were like disposable plastic ones and just didn't need them. You know, we went months without seeing or hearing mice or anything. So I ordered some from Amazon and was like, okay, you know, just don't think about it. You know, the mouse isn't going to bother you. Sometimes mice will bite people in the face while they're sleeping because they smell food on your mouth or whatever. So I've been like just making sure, you know, before you go to bed, just take a little swig of mouthwash and swish it around to make sure you don't have like food smell or anything. Just make sure you get that alcohol peppermint smell, because they hate peppermint and all that stuff. So like just make sure it's strong on your face. But anyway, tried not to think about it and was like, okay, well, when the traps come, I'll set the traps and we'll take them out and release them in the fields. Well, last night I came home from work, or this morning, I guess technically, came home from work and sat down at my computer and was just vegging out to some videos. You know, Tuesday is like a longer route for me, so got home a little late. You know, the product and stuff was a little bit late. They didn't have what I needed, and so I had to wait in the parking lot and stuff. And so I got home late and just sat down on my computer like, oh, finally got home, can just relax before I go to bed. And I'm sitting here, I'm not moving, I'm just literally vegged out staring at the YouTube video, waiting till I get tired enough to go to sleep. And right at my keyboard, literally like 6 inches from where I am right now, I see this damn mouse just standing next to my keyboard. And I was like, okay, what are you doing, mouse? You know, and I kind of moved because I jumped a little bit. It scared the shit out of me. And he bolted, and I saw him jump down over my guitar and everything over here in the corner. And I was like, oh man, these traps need to come today. Like, I can't. I don't mind mice too much. I'm definitely a bug guy. If I see roaches, I lose my mind. But like, we get bats in the house all the time. Bats don't really bother me. Mice don't really bother me too much. But like, to have the balls to walk up to me, I'm a human. I'm like, I don't know, 90 times bigger than you or 600 times bigger than you, whatever. You're not afraid of me? What is wrong with you? Like, you're lucky I'm a nice guy and I ordered non-lethal traps, because most people would have just smashed you with a book or something. Like, if you snuck up on a random, if that thing had snuck up on my family member, they would have killed it. And it's like, mouse, you're pushing my buttons. So not thrilled about that. And then I checked Amazon and it said my package didn't even ship yet. And it's like, I ordered it like 6 days ago. Why hasn't it shipped? You know? I realize it's like unprecedented number of packages being ordered by people on a daily basis, but like also it's some traps that are really lightweight and easy to ship. Just process my order already, you know. So it says Thursday. It's supposed to get here by Thursday at noon, which is like 2 days from now, but I don't know. I've been having a lot of issues with packages, and then one of the presidential candidates is trying to destroy the post office at the moment, so regardless of how I order things online, they're not coming to me, which is just super exciting. But anyway, I think we're full up. Yeah, let's head back to base. We have a lot of stuff. Pretty boring as far as episodes go, I think. We haven't really done very much. Missing the ability to heal overnight is really... I feel really bad about that, because that's definitely something that should be routine in my mind at this point. But we're okay, so we'll head back to base. And, you know, worst case scenario, we spend a day inside reading books until we're able to heal. So I don't think it's a huge deal. Yeah, so we have a mouse in the house. Last time, it only was 2 mice. Like, I saw them and I knew it was my brother's fault, because like he lives like a slob. He had food everywhere. He would leave plates on the floor and stuff in his bedroom, and I was like, okay, you know, mice happen, you know, they smell food, whatever, they come in from outside. That was back in the winter time, so it was like, okay, it's cold outside, so they look for a warm house to stay in, whatever. And it didn't bother me so much, but I was like, you know, I heard it moving in my room. I was worried it would crawl on me while I was sleeping. There were nights when I was sleeping where I felt something thump on my bed, and I was like, that's the mouse, and it freaked me out. So I ordered the traps, we set the traps, and literally within like 5 or 10 minutes of setting the trap, I had caught a mouse. And I remember showing my family member, you know, because it's in this little cage I can pick up, basically, this little plastic dome thing. And showed the family, because they didn't believe that there were mice. They thought it was just my imagination. And she had bought some traps at my behest, but I told her I didn't want lethal traps. I wanted the humane ones. And it was nice to hold in my hands, like, look, there's a freaking mouse. I told you there's a mouse. And we caught it basically immediately. And then I took it out in the field and drove it way far out of town, you know, where it wouldn't be near people's houses, and let it go. And came back, set the trap again, and like 5 minutes later had another freaking mouse. And I thought it was going to be like that, where it was just constant mice, but it really was those 2. And then once they were gone, we never heard mice, we never saw mice, we never saw mouse poop or anything like that. So I don't know, I think we just caught them early, and I'm concerned that if we let this mouse go, it'll end up being more than 1 mouse. So got to get this taken care of. I don't mind mice. You know, we get bats all the time. Bats and mice, very similar creatures. Like, they look very similar, very small rodent things. And the bats don't bother me so much. They get in the house and they fly around, and you basically just wait for them to land, or you, like, knock them out of the air if you can. Like, usually what happens, I have these big totes. So, you know, the bat is flying around, and you kind of just hold up the tote lid, and it'll fly into the tote lid and sort of fall, and you'll catch it on the lid. If that makes any sense. That sounds really confusing. Like, you don't smack it, you just let it kind of drift into it and then let it lay. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, they end up on top of the lid, and then I just scoop them up. Like, my family goes to McDonald's a lot, so we have like McDonald's cups around the house, and I just pick up a cup, scoop it in the cup, put the lid on, take it outside, and let it go. Right? Not a big deal at all. But I've had girlfriends who are like, that freaked them out a lot. No way they were going to ever touch a bat or try to catch a bat or anything like that. But to me, it's something that you just do. You know, I live here, and that's something that happens, you know, and you just got to deal with it. So I don't know, rodents don't bother me so much. When I was growing up as a kid, we lived in really bad housing where we had roaches, and roaches are what get me. I think didn't we just talk about this a couple weeks ago, actually? So let's not talk about that necessarily. But yeah, bats don't really bother me. My brother had an experience years ago where he woke up in bed with a bat trapped in his covers with him. And he definitely did not enjoy that, and I can see how that would scar you and make you hate bats forever. But that wasn't me. I didn't have that experience, so. And then my grandpa, way back in the day, he kept a... This is not a good thing that he did, so I'm not supporting this in any way. I'm just relaying to you what he would do. Back in the day, he had a tennis racket that was specifically for bats. So the bats would get in the house, he would hit them as hard as he could with the tennis racket and then flush them down the toilet, which I think is freaking awful because, one, you're smashing an animal and then it's disoriented and you basically drown it in your toilet. I think that's horrible. But I guess, different times, this was like 40 years ago. What are you going to do? But I always thought that was terrible. So now, like, if I see a bat, I scoop it up, I take it outside. Plus now we have a cat, and I'm afraid my cat would eat it. The other day, no, it was like maybe a month ago, I was walking downstairs, and I heard chittering, and was like, oh, there's a bat in the wall. And I went to step at the bottom of our stairs, and I saw there was a little teeny baby bat just on the landing at the bottom of the stairs. And I was like, oh, crap, I got to get this before the cat does. So I think I had like a disposable bowl or something. I scooped it in. It was this little teeny tiny bat. And I took it outside because I didn't want like the cat to eat it or anything. And I couldn't believe it was still alive because my cat like chases everything. So I imagine it would have not fared very well if my cat had realized it was there. But I just scooped it up, took it out by the hedge, dropped it off, let it go. I don't know. Baby bats, it probably still died. Like, I don't know. I'm not a saint or anything. It's just... I don't want them in the house. Like those mice I took out of the house, it was cold outside. They might have died from the cold or something, and that technically would have been me doing that. But what am I supposed to do? I can't release it at somebody else's house. I have to do it at a field where, it's not going to just run to the nearest house. So I don't know. I'm not a saint either, I guess, but yeah, different times. I don't know. What the hell is this? Table saw. It looks like a still or a power hammer, maybe. Like this kind of looks like a power hammer maybe that comes down. I guess it's just a catch-all for all the new tool types. Miter saw, table saw, planer. What do you I can't scroll over. There we go. What are you? Unseen. I want to know what you are though. Bandsaw, drill press, and a jointer. Okay. I mean, that's cool. Obviously, a woodwork giant naked mole rat is not great. We definitely don't have the skill to kill this thing. Probably can't see to your current location. They're pretty blind. I don't see any reason to engage this. We're not going to be able to kill it. So we're just going to leave. We'll check the rest of the basement. As long as we don't hear a bunch of crashes, we'll be fine. No respect for animals from him. He did not even make a funeral. I mean, a funeral might be a little bit much. And a lathe. I'm sure there's a lathe in there somewhere. Probably. It's a woodworking basement, so a lathe would make sense. Pop upstairs here. So we've hit a lot of houses lately. There's really not much else. Of course we would like to go to like these restaurants and whatever. The garages probably have some good stuff. Oh, it's a tire shop. I don't really care about that. Cemetery, I don't care. There's not a whole lot here that I'm super interested in. The dispensary. What is a dispensary? Is that where you get weed? Or is that like... I always thought a dispensary was another word for a pharmacy, but I think this is somehow related to marijuana. Hardware store, also very good. In fact, there's 2 of them here. 3 of them here? No, it's a clothing store. So 2 hardware stores, definitely somewhere to investigate. Why don't we head north and just see what's up there? Enemy density wise. We need to drop things off back at base anyway. And let's check this little garage thing back here, tool shed, whatever it is. What is this made of? Simple metal wall? There's a metal building back here that looks like something someone would make out of scrap. I have a, what is this? Closed metal door. I should be able to pick you. Improvise lockpick. We do have a 3 in lockpicking. Stumps your efforts. So we're gonna just throw ourselves at this until we can get in. Curious what's in here. It's probably just some generic tool shed, but the fact that it's made out of metal has piqued my interest. Satisfying click. And yeah, really nothing. A workbench, and a utility shelf. Would be nice to take a workbench with us back to base, but I'm also not going to drag one through the woods, so we're just going to head back. Is that a radio tower up north? I do believe we had climbed it while wearing our Survivor telescope. I tried to zoom out on the map. That feature's not in the game yet, although someone is working on it. So we got quite a huge radius revealed by climbing the radio tower. I believe that was another simulacrum suggested that. I wouldn't have thought to do it. In fact, that's where we found our Survivor telescope, if I recall. So yes, we did hit the radio tower. We're gonna head back. Or did you mean in town somewhere? No, you meant that one probably. So let's head back to base, unload our gear. I think there's a bike inside of it. Just some workbenches, which are valuable, you know, because workbenches currently can only be made out of metal. So if you don't have a welder, you're not able to make a workbench, which is like a good crafting boost, and can also be used for butchery and things. So definitely has some value, but I didn't feel like dragging it through the woods, because who would drag a giant work table through the woods? And I'm not even sure, they gotta be mobile. You can probably grab them, I imagine. Drop these, leather chaps, no thank you. We are gonna keep the folding knife. I was gonna say we don't need to, but I think we probably should. Starting to feel that hoarseness creeping into my voice. We don't need the soldering iron. I think the multi-tool has screwdriving as well, so we could just dump our set here. Do you have fine screwdriving? You do. 1 and 1. What about the screwdriver set? 1 and 1. So we don't need the screwdriver set. What else does the multi-tool have? Butchering, cutting, but not fine cutting. Metal sawing, wood sawing. How does a multi-tool have a wood sawing and metal sawing quality? Who in their right mind would try to use a multi-tool like a hacksaw? That sounds awful. It also has bolt turning. I mean, I guess they have pliers on them. We don't need to carry the wrench on us. Keep the multi-tool. Dump the folding knife because it has cutting and butchering, which is not super relevant, I know, but drop the chemistry set. Keep the refillable lighter. We're going to want to fill that at some point. Let's have a look at our solar vehicle here. What's your deal? We have a leaky battery we got to take care of. Let's repair our weapon while I'm thinking about it. Grab soldering iron, preferably one with a battery in it. Activate soldering iron. Repair lead, plastic, etc. Oh, we don't have plastic chunks. I bet I didn't pick up anything that has plastic chunks either. I don't want to cut up my cash cards, although I never use them. Go ahead and drop the cash cards. Boop, boop, boop. Butcher. You have no corpses to butcher. You don't have the necessary tools. I don't have the necessary tools to cut up a cash card. Can it not be disassembled? You know, nothing you can craft with it. Oh, look, it has a credit card number style digits on it. I wonder if that's different for every card. 555, 993, 555. No, they appear to be the same number. Would have been clever if it had multiple values for each different card. So I don't have anything, I don't think that could be taken apart for... Why did I not pick those up? For plastic chunks at the moment. Be nice if we could grab a wash basket or something, but it doesn't really matter. I have a Swiss knife with a little wood and metal saw, one for wood and the other for metal sawing. Yeah, but my point is, like, it has that. Like, obviously it has a little saw on it. but is it actually good enough for you to use those saws, or is it just one of those things where they put those saws in there kind of as a gimmick? Does that make sense? Also, the deranged optician is now following. Hey, thanks for the follow. I actually had someone on YouTube last night tell me that my follow alert is disgusting. In fact, where's my test button? Test follow. So we can see this again. Someone told me that this is disgusting, and that they basically left me a really nasty comment about how they weren't going to watch my content anymore. And I don't know how my Twitch alert is disgusting, but thanks for your comment. You were one of the only people who've ever been banned from my YouTube channel, so congratulations. Would like plastic chunks so we could repair this tonfa. But anyway, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Can we take apart bubble wrap for plastic, I wonder? Bubble wrap. What else do we have that's plastic? I mean, I guess we have, like, worst case, we could take apart, like, flashlights or something. They probably get plastic. I don't see... I mean, maybe I just don't know what I need for plastic. Let's take apart a flashlight and see what we get. You gotta get plastic from a flashlight, I gotta assume. Let's unload the battery. Why that's rude? I mean, honestly, people on YouTube, sometimes they just are like, I slightly dislike something you did, so... Like, the comment wasn't even... I don't want to dunk on a person. I think it's really shitty when Twitch people crap all over a viewer or whatever. But honestly, this person left a really nasty comment. They left me a comment on another video where they complained about the game. And I was like, okay, you know, lots of people complain about the game. I'm just going to ignore you. And then they left me a comment on another video where they were like, oh, look at that disgusting Twitch alert. I can't believe I actually commented on one of your other videos. What's the word they used? Without being I'm disgusted at myself for my ignorance or something. And I was like, this is just dumb. You should have just, if you didn't want to watch it, you should have just turned it off. There's no reason for you to say nasty shit just because you don't like something. And there's nothing disgusting about it. It's a nameplate. It's a nameplate. Yeah, a knife comes in and hits the nameplate, but it's not like there's a blood splatter or a scream or anything like that. It's just it's a cool alert. I like my alert. So we don't get plastic. We get... I bet some of those can be taken apart for plastic. Yes, let's stop. Where's the tough zombie? Looks like you're chasing something. What's that other dot that I just saw? A Kraken. It's chasing the Kraken. Let's close this front door. And we'll pull this... No, let's just go outside, but let's go around the corner to where it's a little bit less, you know, obtrusive to zombies. Drop a flashlight. Butcher a flashlight. Surely some of this will give me plastic. Something in here is going to give me plastic. Congrats to that YouTube guy. He's a legend now. Nah, just dunk on him. I mean, I think it's crappy when... Every now and then I'll go on Twitter and someone will be like, look at this stupid freaking person in my YouTube chat. And it's like, you know, I get it. It's frustrating, but I also think it's not cool to crap all over people. So, I don't know. But that actually genuinely upset me a little bit, because I was like, what? There's nothing wrong with my alert. I like my alert, you know? But for a fraction of a second, it had me second-guessing my decision, so...